Sir, you've been here for 3 days. On official police business, no less. Sir, you've been here for 3 days. On official police business, as you put it. No, you're a police officer, sir. But I wasn't sad. Thank you, sir. I mean that. Of course. A fondness for contradictory statements? Because you're a police officer, sir. Of course. Be careful, officer. They don't like the police around here. Come on, man. Pretty please. One more time. Mere minutes. I should go and prepare then. Thank you. This has been delightful. I hope it does all come crashing down. Otherwise... Or maybe you are Guillaume le Million. He'd be about your age now. Think about it. One thing, though. Yes, you're in a hostel, sir. We are in Revachol. Yeah, forever and ever. It's 51. The current century? I'm not. Unless you've been shitting us all this time. Centuries don't have numbers. They have names. And this is the current one. Civilization has existed for 8,000 years, sir. You're right. There is nothing funny about civilization. You sure look like you're from Revachol. Revachol parties. The dock workers are pretty cocky. They think they're police enough. At least here on the coast. I can't say about the rest of the city. There was the usual ruckus. Loud disco music. Couldn't say. In truth, so far... Mostly drinking. I couldn't say. It's impossible to hear people speaking from over here. I think you might have come to the same conclusion last night. At around 2 o'clock, the disco stopped, and there was a change of pace. I don't know about that. At around 2 o'clock, the disco stopped, and there was a change of pace. There's a mercenary out back. He's been hanged. The body has been there for a week now. The locals probably got tired of it and called the cops. It would appear so. At around 2 o'clock, the disco stopped and there was a change of pace. Oh, yes. Various artists. Ostentatious orchestration prime among them. Oh, were huge where I come from. I was very young then, of course. Like 7. Life gets hard, but we go on. Glad to have been of assistance. A slow, sad song started playing. Like organ music on repeat. That went on for quite a while. Some of the time you were yelling along to it. I didn't mean to overwhelm you with information. You seem a bit lost, officer. Okay. Yes, there was a church in there. A really small church. Like the smallest, saddest church in the whole world. It was about that. And also that it doesn't matter anymore and that we're alone now. It was difficult to tell. The song itself is very quiet and soft, but you sounded like a winded boar, sir. It was hard to understand what you were singing on top of it. Yes. It was very cool. Don't be so harsh on yourself. They let almost anyone be a police officer. Then you started screaming and trashed the place. Don't be. I was going out later anyway. It didn't bother me. No. It didn't sound like there was a fight. It sounded like someone was trashing their room. A window was smashed. The tape player, probably. The song stopped. And furniture, too. A real destructathon. There was screaming. Then I think you passed out. Yes. Never. Could it be because of the drinking? There was. I think you screamed that you didn't want to be this type of animal anymore. I may have misheard, but it was sort of memorable. I went out afterwards. Everything was quiet by then, around 4 or 5. And that was it. Yes, sir. Unless you've been feeding us a set of well-rehearsed lies, you've been here for 3 days. On official police business, no less. Okay, cool. I won't. Good monologue. Officer, I'm sorry. I was being glib. I'm sure you're a great cop. Extraordinary. Okay, I can see that. Is it? What was that? That's not even how words are used. What did you say? Come on, say it again. In that case, I think I might have a premonition for you. I'm sorry. Goodbye. Not as much as you. I'm sorry, sir. I didn't mean to be glib. I'm sure you're very good at your job. Of course. You've been here for 3 days. On official police business, no less. And no, it never stops. No, you see, that's not what you said. You said... Goddamn right you did. You crazy asshole, you. What kind of cop are you? Don't be. It was funny. And anyway, who gives a shit? Who gives a shit about any of it? So what if you can't pull grade A pussy anymore? There are other things in life, more meaningful, more fitting for a man your age. This is Fata Morgana. One thing though, it's gonna suck for you later when you have to interrogate me. And for the record, no, I didn't do it. Has the time come already? You're one intense cop. Anyone ever tell you that? All right, then. Looks like I should go and prepare for what's to come. And thank you. This has been delightful. I do hope it happens sooner. Otherwise, okay, that's cool. Or if I can just maybe ask you to elaborate on that superstardom a tiny bit. I have certainly been entertained. Thank you. Whatever you are, you should stick to it. Otherwise, okay, sir, I have to ask, do you really not remember? Just like that? You drank so much you lost your memory? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. No. Alcohol raises testosterone levels, especially in men. The levels remain elevated after inebriation ends and the pain begins. You seek comfort. It's only natural. I am, yes. Unless you've been feeding us a set of very well-rehearsed lies all this time. First, I have to ask, are you okay, sir? You look like you're about to throw up. Can I bring you something? Okay. Sir, you've been here for 3 days. On official police business, as you put it.
She's right. Something wants to come out through your mouth, right in front of her, right here. It makes you put your hand on your stomach and swallow.
Hello, officer. Nice. All right. Let's trash the place. Demolish the place. Suck on that door. I think the bracket's broke inside. I've always wanted to know what's in there. Something is happening. In this city, I can feel it. When I'm out here at night, something is happening. In this city, I can feel it. When I'm out here at night, something is happening. In this city, I can feel it. When I'm out here at night, the return is part urban myth, part political science. It's a fool's hope, sir. And it's also all I've got. They say there will be an event, that it will happen somewhere here. So, officer, what were we talking about? In the final hours of this twilight world. Silence, officer. Wouldn't have thought you the silent type. What were we talking about? So, officer. Sad silence. Lamentation? What were we talking about? So, superstar law official. What were we talking about? I'm waiting for the miracle to happen. It'll take one to get me out of the mess I'm in. Of the king, of the nation, of communism, return on investment. I don't know exactly. It's meant to be vague, as promises generally are. Don't you know, sir? I thought you were from around here. You look like Mr. Revachol. The return, well, it's part urban myth, part political science. It's a fool's hope, sir, and it's also all I've got. They say there will be an event, that it will happen somewhere here. You mean here, in Martinez? Sure, the return, of course. Now, I know I'm not from around here. I would only be hitchhiking. The return is a big hit in the industrial espionage circles. A lot of desperate, seedy types there. All screwed in this unipolar world. As I said, there's talk. In the competitive intelligence crowd, a lot of people, like me, who need a new color on the map. It's all blue, you see, and that blue doesn't like us. Yeah, I guess it is, soon. But it's been soon for almost half a century now, so don't hold your breath. No, I came all this way on a false passport and some money. To hide, mostly. In the most volatile part of the Real Belt, where it's easiest to disappear. Where the walls are still porous and you can slip through. This is just something to get me through the night, you know? A little espérance. No need to worry, Lieutenant. I'm sure the streets will not erupt in seditious violence just yet. I do. In Revachol West. They say it will happen soon, and that it will change everything. But at the same time, I mean, things can't go on like this forever. Something will give. It always does. How do you deal with anything? It's all just... How do you do it? There you have it. The way of the warrior. I sense you're being sarcastic. Okay. The thing is, you're on the payroll of the Moralist International. No, I want to. Let's get this done. It is. They're after me. And they have friends in the moral intern. Some are moral intern. If I show up in your records, officer, they will find me. They will. You share a database with them. You send people to their courts. Oh, yeah. I did one of his lines, just to clear my head. I think you meant to say bitch there. Why not? Ruby said to wait here. She also said I wouldn't see her for a while, that we should lay low or something. So I did. I did not kill him to defend myself from rape. I told you before. That wasn't what happened. You share a database with them. You send people to their courts. Sure. No. People don't take drugs to kill each other. They take them to feel okay with each other. You log your work every week. It's all transmitted to Commencer. I couldn't just beg you not to enter my name. So I lied. Wow. Someone has their testosterone cranked up to Neolithic. Let me just forcefully rerail this talk for you, okay? Are you okay with that? Here we go. You've been trying to kick that door down, right? Maybe it leads downstairs. You've been through there, right? I saw you come out. It leads downstairs. She could have had access to the roof. You've noticed that door there, right? Maybe it leads downstairs. She could have come up through there, then taken the shot right here, where I stand. It was too dark outside. I wouldn't have seen her. You didn't. Yes. She's been up here many times. She used to come to drink on the roof when, Yes, of course. She's been up here many times, jacking private stations off the ring antenna. She used to come here to drink on the roof with me, before it got weird. She could have come to the roof through that, then taken the shot right here, where I stand. It was dark outside. I wouldn't have seen her. She could have come to the roof through that, then made the shot right here, where I stand. It was dark outside. I wouldn't have seen her. I promised I will be right here all the time, nights too. I'll help you any way I can in this investigation, and I will be at Station 41 in 6 weeks. I promise. I already ran. I ran from an entire Isola. I can't run any further. Not with these people. This is as far as it gets. They will kill me, sir. If you file my name, take me in for questioning, enter me into the moral intern mill. Just business. But bad business for some people in the moral intern. If I show up in your records, officer, they will find me. They will. It's not nice, but it's not illegal. Not here in Revachol, or even in Oranje. Industrial espionage. I joined a business collective with the intention of betraying them. I did my job well enough to be asked to do it again, with a bigger company. The kind you really, really don't fuck with. I took their ledgers, 2 decades worth of accounting. She has this thing for me. ever since I met her and the boys downstairs. She's been pretty frank about what she wants. The job was Lou's doing County Savings Bank. They sound small, but they're part of the Lou Scott conglomerate. That was the second job. The first was some printer company. You wouldn't know them. As to who hired me for the job, I don't know. But they're after me too, along with Lou Scott and their friends in the MI. Once you're done in the competitive intelligence circuit, you don't have allies. You're radioactive. Yeah. Papa fucking Lolo wants to kill me. Sure. I'm not a war criminal, but it was bad. People lost their jobs. Good people too, not just C-suite. It is. Many people lost their jobs, not just C-suite. Ordinary people. What I did to get to accounting, Papa Lolo is not real. He's a picture on a milk carton. Real people lost their jobs. Not C-suite either. Good people. What I did to get to accounting. This was not a joke. Real people lost their jobs. Not just in the C-suite either. Good people. What I did to get to accounting. I am a destroyer. People lost their jobs. Good people. Not just C-suite assholes. And the way I got into accounting, I don't. How do you live with yourself? That would do the trick, yes. By bargaining, then. I do that too. It's not all that effective. Drugs are good. I also do those. I try to bargain with myself too. That doesn't really work, does it? Not without a drink to wash it down. I do that too, yes. It's unbelievably effective, especially when combined with cigarettes and drugs. I understand. We were there. Together. In bed, I mean. I turned back to him. His eyes were looking through me and his mouth was open. Dumb. I could see. Okay. He was in a kneeling position. He had just entered me. I was on my back, looking at him. I heard the window behind me shatter, and I turned to look. There was a hole in the glass. I waited for the second shot to come. For me. I thought there would be one. It never came. I knew he was dead. Before he fell down on top of me. Sylvie was tending the bar. A lot of people were there. The Hardys were at the table in front of the stage. I think the union box was full. Yeah. It was a real motherfucker. Yeah. It was a real motherfucker. Ow. He was heavy. I pushed him off and he fell to the floor. There. He only had his boots on. I bit the pillow, not to scream, then ran downstairs. So am I. I'm not lying to you. Oh, sure. 11:30 to 12:15. I don't know the exact time. Around midnight. Not as much as usual. He'd done a line, plus other things. I was drinking. Nothing. I was trapped. I was stuck in my room downstairs. I got some clothes on and crawled back up, drew the blinds. Blood was coming from his mouth. Not a lot. Just a little. He was still on the floor, slouched. I couldn't be there with him anymore. So I ran down and out of my room, into the hallway, down the stairs. I knew there would be people there. Ruby was there too. They were having such a good time. I sat down and they all welcomed me. I didn't even have to say anything. Ruby knew something was wrong. Ruby. You know, the leader. The Hardy Boys. Well, nominally, yes. Ruby's the one they go to when things happen, like things they need taken care of. She's the organizer. I knew there was a chance he'd get them to tell you. It's what you do. You're the police. No. Well, Ruby said let's talk upstairs. I showed her the room. I've known these people since December. They know my situation, that I can't leave a paper trail. Ruby was the first one I told. She said she'd take care of this. It's what she does, you know, take care of things. I helped her get the body to the bathroom. We used a belt to pull him up under the shower, to keep him upright. Yes. How? That's the first thing that went through my head when I heard the glass break. Yes, but how did you know that? Yes. Ruby said the blood in him would look like a hanging. About 20, yes. Ruby explained it would make the blood... You know what he does. Ruby went outside to talk to Titus and the boys. I was just looking at Lely in the bathroom. I had to put his clothes back on. His armor, too. It was tough, but I've seen him take it off and put it on many times. It took Ruby maybe half an hour to come back with Titus. I'd gotten him ready by then. They carried him out. I knew what they were going to do. Make it look like a hanging. Ruby said they would. What? Why would I put myself through this? Insanity. Get myself cornered like this. I'm sad to hear that. They must have said it in some fit of frustration or under pressure. They couldn't have meant it. I've talked to them after it happened. No one has implicated me. What does that mean? I thought officers in Ravishal would be more enlightened about these things. Especially since you've admitted to taking drugs yourself. What? Fucking themselves over for no reason? This is not what happened, officer. I've said I'm sorry. What more do you want me to say? I did my best not to lie. It didn't always work. No, I specifically asked him not to carry firearms when he was with me. He only had his stupid armor. I don't know. His friends have rifles. Maybe those psychos did it? Coalition military have rifles. I'm not a munitions expert, and I did not shoot him. He wouldn't have died if it weren't for me. I know that. But I would never hurt him. The work I did, they don't just send you in with no training. Corporate security is a thing. But I'm not a trained sambal fighter. I've never needed it outside the gym. Because of the Hardys, I couldn't just dispense with them. They were only trying to help me out of the shit I'd gotten into. Yes, because I'm under stress. Because life is hell, officer. I thought Ravishal would be more enlightened about this. Especially since you've taken them yourself. Of course. I'm sorry. I withdraw my statement. I'm under stress here. I know that. But the people around here, they don't see it that way. And if I am to stay here, I need to get along with them. I thought you Ravishal people would be more enlightened on this. I'm sorry, officer. I'm under some stress here. I'm sorry. I withdraw what I said. I didn't mean to judge anyone. Like what? I thought they'd found me. They've killed him to punish me. All last week, I've tried not to talk to anyone or be seen with anyone so they wouldn't be hurt. I've come to understand, however, this is paranoia. What happened didn't have anything to do with me. I just don't know. I don't know anything. Or I don't know anything anymore. All I do is wait here. If there's one thing I know, it's that you'll get nothing from Looskop. They don't fuck things like this up. I don't ask you to, Lieutenant. If there's one thing I know, it's that you'll get nothing from there. Because I'm an idiot. You have to understand, the people around here, no one was making the call, and he kept rotting. And then they picked his clothes off, and that little fucker threw stones at him. He kept throwing stones at him for 3 days. I could hear the thud. Thud. So I called you. I hope with all my heart it's not the last thing I do in Ravishal. Last week, Angus and Titus's brother, I think he's called Tibbs, took care of it. Last week, Angus and Titus's brother, I think he's called Tibbs, took care of it. I told you I'm a horrible girl. I told you things break around me. I don't know. I haven't seen her since. Okay. I don't. How did you know that? I did. What is this? I called your desk or whatever it is. The numbers are all over town. Call 8-100-2 for emergencies. Thursday night. It was late, sometime after 12. Okay, it's not. Like I lied before. Like I did at LCSB. I have to lie all the time. I'm so tired of it. Like I lied before. Like I lied to my employers. I have to lie all the time. I'm so tired of it. But I know the time of the call too. I know I have not been 100% truthful with you officers, but I am now. I can give you the time, too. It was late. After midnight. 12:20. I know I have not been 100% truthful with you, but I am now. Okay. I did. What? There was an older woman on the other end. It sounded like she was smoking. She took my complaint. She coughed. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Yes. It's not my name. No. It's submerged in a plastic buoy on the coast, in the reeds. It just doesn't say Klaasje Amandou. It says Annouk Meijer-Smit, passport and visa. Given to me by my employer. I can't even use them. My employer probably leaked the name, Meijer-Smit, to hurt me. I didn't show up to a rendezvous. They don't take that lightly. I didn't show up because I was afraid they'd do something to me. The job was finished. I'm just a liability now. West of the boardwalk, in the reeds, on the coast there. I put it there when I first arrived. Haven't been there since. I'm not sure I could even find it now. It's useless. A fake passport and visa, given to me by my employer. I can't even use them. My employer probably leaked the name to hurt me. It's Katarzine, Alasije. My parents were Zemsk immigrants, but I'm nationalized Oranese. All I remember is Oranje. Alasije is my father's name. It was a sentimental thing. I want it to be more me here, this time. So I used my nickname. I am. They can never take my sash and my scepter from me. I've always had that going for me. Oranese women do not win beauty pageants at 14. I've always had that going for me. I only have the birthmarks of an Oranese woman, a teenage boy. 1,000,000 years ago. That's cool. You can call me whatever you want. I haven't said it aloud in such a long time. That name. But I haven't done anything. Anything illegal. Klaasje. It was my first real boyfriend who gave me that name. He never recovered from the shit we went through. Because of me. He was a writer. He made Oranese lit. And I destroyed him. Who was he? A boy. A student. It was a good thing, and I destroyed him. Please no. I know I'm shit. I know. But I haven't done anything. At least nothing illegal. I think I know who did it. I know who shot Lely. You know it wasn't me. Why would I do it? I have no motive. I think I know who did it. Who shot Lely. I can tell you. I can help you. Ruby. Sex. And more. I made the mistake of confiding in her. I told her I was on the run. She started protecting me. It became an unhealthy relationship. When I started spending time with Lely, she told me to end it. Said there would be shit if I didn't. It was not a good meeting. We stopped talking after that, and more. I made the mistake of confiding in her. I told her I was on the run. She started protecting me. It became an unhealthy relationship. She said she's in love with me. She even asked me to run away with her when I told her I'm a fugitive. She started developing notions about our relationship. A little. I was flattered, But then I had to let her off, and it was not easy. I came to regret being friendly with her. We maybe kissed, nothing more. Yes, we spent a lot of time together, listening to the radio and such. She had great milieus, and she was good company. I was sorry it had to end. She came over one night, drunk, said she'd turn my life into a living hell. I've been threatened before, so I can tell when someone knows how to do it. I wish it did, but sadly, no. And she's a pro. She must be. To keep the Hardys in line. I tried severing ties with her after that. I thought it had worked, but somehow she knew Lely was dead. She wasn't surprised at all. When we came up here, she was calm as a stone, too. She cleaned it all up like she had a plan. I know what it sounds like. That's why I didn't want to tell you before. But she knew what had happened when I came downstairs. I know what this sounds like. That's why I didn't want to tell you before. But she knew what had happened when I came downstairs. For what it's worth, I'm sorry for wasting your time. No, you said there was a secret route there, right? It was a mistake. I'm sorry for wasting your time. The people. My bed is right next to... She would have seen us. She would have seen us. My bed is right next to... No. Why would she do that to herself? No, I just remembered you told me about it, and I didn't lie. Not a lot. I've done my absolute best not to. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. You won't regret it. Still? After all this, sir, please. It's a shitty world, and I know I'm shitty too. I know, but I don't deserve to be sent to the moral intern and ground into paste just because I disturbed the sanctity of accounting. That's some multinational... I don't know. To spend my days with smoke, and drink and dance, wallowing in shit. Just like everyone else. You have those station calls, right? Where I have to show up at the station or I'll become a fugitive. You can write me one. You don't have to take me in right now. I promise I won't go out anymore at night. I'll be right here. Everything could change. This city, the extradition rules, the people after me could be in jail. Or maybe Revachol. I won't, sir. I won't. I know. For what it's worth, I'm sorry. For all of this, for wasting your time. Maybe Revachol could be free. I could be tried in a free Revachol. An independent state that doesn't hand its detainees over to the moral intern. The world can change. It's changed before. Okay, well, don't. The world can change. It has changed before. When he was shot? I may have. I don't know. I couldn't hear anything over the glass exploding. I know you can do that. Just let me come in on my own. In 2 months, or maybe even 1 month. That's all I need. I know, but I did. I also had a side job selling insurance that I was really good at. Got picked up by a bank. Competitive intelligence, they called it. After that, I sort of, transitioned out of the whole culture scene. Of course, you're welcome to it. It's in the reeds northwest of here, past a broken sewage pipe, right near the waterline. You're welcome to it. It's in the reeds northwest of here, past a broken sewage pipe, right near the waterline. I'm sorry for wasting your time. I should have known that you'd find out. You're right. There's more. You answer to the coalition government, and by extension, the moral intern. I have people after me, and they have friends in the moral intern. Some are moral intern. If I show up in your records, officer, they will find me. They will kill me, officer. If you file my name, take me in for questioning, enter me into the moral intern mill, well, then I'm fucked. For nothing. This murder didn't have anything to do with me. A lot of people got hurt. But that's just more of my shit you shouldn't have to deal with. You're solving a murder. One of them killed themselves because of me. Wow. That's the one. The small, sad church song. I've missed it. I really have. The small, sad church song tells it like it is, detective. Sad. Oh, I've got a couple of good years left on my warranty. I can see that. I'm glad all this onward going has brought you to me. See? Say nothing. So strange. Who says that? What is going on here? And what is that situation? I doubt it. You can't bury that kind of fire. What brought you back to me, fireman? It's okay. It's absolutely okay to be that. What is this about, officers? An unnecessary development, if you ask me. What brings this supposedly regular law official back to me? I stand corrected. What brings you back to me, superstardom? I stand corrected. What brings you back to me? The coming apocalypse? Questions? What about? Of course there are. Look at him. He is the Phoenix. What brings the Phoenix back to me? Wow. Wow. What brings the Phoenix back to me? A penitent cop monk. What brings this changed man to me? I very much doubt that. What brings this so-called boring cop back to me? Wow, indeed. And what brings this herald back to me? Oh, well, I'm sad to hear that. Wow. There are capo types? Yeah, man. I know. What now? Wow. Can it be stopped? And if not, what are we to do with the time left? And what brings this track and field god all the way up here? Oh, yes. Legends of room number 1 have made their way around the building. They say a portal to hell has opened in there. Officer, it's a fine day for questions. Have I ever? This is the fabled cop of the apocalypse. They also say that's why the cleaning lady quit. Because of the infernum. I doubt you will succeed. So, what is this about, officers? Right. Why not? I'll be here until 11 p.m., drinking coffee, most likely. Klaasje, Amandou. Right, sir. Vrede fort, Republic of Oranje. I guess you could say I am an Oranese expatriate. Vrede fort, Republic of Oranje. A bad memory, officer. Have I ever? This is the one and only superstar cop. He's kind of a big deal around here. Of lilacs and lightning, parks, glass, duraluminum. Vredefort is a conference city. It's always autumn there. A night. At least it was for me. Nothing. If you're no longer there. It's the past. People can't go back to the past. Have I ever? This is the biggest fan of ostentatious orchestrations I have seen in my life. And I have seen a few. I'm 28. Sooner or later, everyone does. Oh yeah. Life gets hard, but we go on. Something stupid. Oranje's lit. What happened, man? The end was supposed to be mere seconds away. Why we're still here? Oranje's literature. It's what I studied at the university. Fear of failure, fear of death, how it sucks to be Oranjese. All national literatures are... Only the name of the nation changes. No. Revacholian lit is about how magnificent and serious Revachol is. It's about how you have to save the world. No. More stupid. Oranjese lit. His arrival is a sign of the end times. All this will come crashing down in mere days. That's just a phase the Revacholian hero goes through. That's the natural state of the Revacholian hero. Although, if I remember correctly, there are still some centuries to go. Very anticlimactic. Strange. Usually the Revacholian hero does not save women. Back to me. Nothing. I do nothing with it. Before they plunge into full core humanity and world saving. It's a frivolous pursuit. He saves all of mankind instead. Cool. I've made more money by just being than I have with Oranjese lit. Now, I'm no expert on cops, but that sounds like one special police officer to me. Sure. It's not very cool, but what can you do? Cool. I've made more money by just being than I have with Oranjese lit. Oranjese lit certainly hasn't helped. I've made more money by just being than I have with Oranjese lit. Many things. A roller skating instructor, a secretary, Miss Oranje 37. It's a beauty pageant, held in the year of our century 37, in Oranje. It's a competition for stupid girls. Men look at them and choose the most beautiful. When you have the fewest deviations from the norm, I've been told it's a type of mediocrity that I possess. No, I was the most stupid and mediocre, and I got a crown and a sash and a scepter for it. And a scholarship to study Oranije. Yes, and for that I got a crown and a sash and a scepter. And a scholarship to study Oranije. Indeed. They also say it's why the cleaning lady quit. Full disclosure, I was Miss Teen Oranje 37. The pageant was discontinued recently. It was okay. And it was called Miss Teen Oranje 37, actually. You'll be glad to hear the pageant was discontinued. I would offer you coffee, but it's garbage. Literally tastes like poison. I'm afraid you can't, officer. Come on, detective. Cut him some slack. These may be the final hours of human existence. Come on, detective. Cut him some slack. This guy's been through some heavy-duty emotional stuff. Come on, detective. He's the most repentant law official in the land. I don't mind. It's okay. He's just getting his bearings. The world of beauty pageants is bewildering. It's okay. I don't mind. The world of beauty pageants is absurd and bewildering. It's okay. This is what superstar law officials do. I'm getting used to it. It's okay. This is just him being a scintillating wordsmith. I'm used to it. Neither do I. I think it's alcohol that makes you feel like that. It must have something to do with partying. Thank you for your understanding. The record. So official. Because it's buried in a sealed plastic bag at an undisclosed location on the coast, along with cash and airline tickets. They say so in your tourist brochure. Keep travel documents away from your person when west of the river. A third place? Interesting. That's probably why the cleaning lady quit. Look, officers, I like this place, but I don't want to be stuck wandering the city like a ghost after being robbed of my travel documents. Officer, I like this place, but I don't want to be stuck wandering the city like a ghost after being robbed of my travel documents. I don't want to become an indentured servant in a brothel on Boogie Street. And I don't want my relatives to pay the ransom. It's also why I hid it. I know. That's probably also why the cleaning lady quit. I'm an unpopular girl. There are people back home who don't like me. If they show up, I'm in a hurry. The kind of hurry where you can't afford to not find your documents. But don't worry. This has nothing to do with your investigation. I would love to change the subject. It's not important. Unless I'm some kind of suspect. Oh, I do. They also say it's why the cleaning lady quit. Well. It seems I either underestimated you or overestimated your hangover, officer. If I were to lie to you, I would come up with a more mainstream name than Klaasje Amandou. It's a weird name. If I didn't know better, I'd say you feigned that fuck having lied to get me to say something stupid. Was that so? Okie dokie. I'm flattered. You told us about the investigation Friday night, downstairs, at a table full of local kids and dock workers. You told pretty much everyone, after you showed them your gun. Cool. You told us about the investigation Friday night, downstairs, at a table full of local kids and dock workers. You told pretty much everyone. After you showed them your gun, that is. Not too hard. You told us about the investigation Friday night, downstairs, at a table full of local kids and dock workers. You told pretty much everyone. After you showed them your gun. Phew. No, I'm not. Phew. Yeah, I've contaminated it pretty bad. The contamination spreads from room to room. First, I escaped upstairs. The SAD got that too. Then I found the handle for the summer door. The world. It's hard to contaminate such a wide open space. Even for me. At least I hope so. If I do, where will any of us go? For me, it's a mix of me with a lack of cleaning services. How about you?
Nice. I don't know about that, officer.
Talk around the establishment is, you have an industrial sad spill in there. That's where it always comes from, isn't it? From the head and from the past. I love apricot chewing gum. That's pretty hardcore. I'm part of the anti-human task force myself. Yeah, sounds like an advanced form of what I've got, with a bit of old love sprinkled on top. Are you sure? Love is terror. Love is terror. Betrayed by the things we love. What a rotten deal.
It's much nicer now.
Don't be alarmed, but Mr. Gart implied there's an industrial sad spill in there. Cool. I think I'm developing a pinch of that too. It hasn't done wonders to my taste in interior decoration. It's a mystery. An alcohol-related mystery. You tell me, officer. I've been trying to open it, in case the contamination gets to the roof and I have to move on. No luck. You tell me, officer, when you've kicked it down. I've been wondering myself, but I'm light of foot. Not a good door kicker. I have no idea, officer. You tell me, officer. I've been trying to open it, in case the contamination gets to the roof and I have to move on. No luck. You tell me, officer. You kicked it down. I've been wondering myself, but I'm light of foot. Not a good door kicker. You kicked it down. You tell me. Yeah, it's pretty deluxe. I'm wintering. About 4 months. I came in November. Here in the Whirling, here in Martinez, or here in Revachol. Funky town.
Thank you for that, officers.
Truly, because it's the funkiest building in Martinez. And because all the other buildings are bombed to hell. I heard this is where the washed-up disco has-beens go. I always wanted to see the only city in the world in the worst time of the year. It's a tourist thing. Came to see the new world. It's a tourist thing. If you say so, officer. If you say so. I'm really not. It turned out to be a Zarath-infested third world slum. Conference centers. A lot of them. All right. Okay. Yeah, it is. Yeah. I'm trying not to lie to you here. Stop making it hard. Believe me, you don't want to get into that shit. Welcome to the roof. You've got it bad as it is. No. You've got it bad as it is. Thanks. I don't want to lie to the law. It's not my style. I'm just a girl whom windows break around. The truth is, I'm a horrible girl. Windows break around me. It's not their fault. Pretty. Looks like a dried Maybell. Is that the one you caught? Sambo style? Why was there a flower on the roof? I don't know, officer. Because of the wind? Admirers? I'm too old to be a debutante. And this place is no fashionable society. A martial art, sir. Is that it? All right. I like it sudden. I was just thinking, what a nice day for questions pertaining to a murder investigation. Officer, what brings you up here in the rain? It's always good to see you. Hello again, officer. Oh, do you think Ruby could have gotten in that way? To the roof?
She could have come up through there. I did not. Mystery solved then. I kept wondering where it led. Okay. Not met, per se, but I've seen him around, Detective. Swooshing by. It has been quite a sight. A peephole? You mean like a hole in the wall? Mm-hmm. I did not. Do you think this has something to do with what happened? Huh. This isn't good. I don't know. Was there anything else? Back there? Okay. I'm glad someone's had fun. I'm sorry for the mess down there. The cleaning lady hasn't come by in days. I'm beginning to wonder if she ever will. Okay. Do you have any way of knowing how long it has been there? Do you think this is somehow connected to me? Do you think this is somehow related to Ruby passing through there? God, where is it? I think I need to cover it up. Thank you. No, it's okay. Was there anything more? It's very hard to believe that she'd do something like that, but no, I don't know. I just don't know about this, officer. Shit, I don't know. Maybe it's been there for a long time. Maybe the local kids use it or something. I don't know. She could have. Maybe she did. Or maybe it's been there for a long time. The local kids use it or something. Was there anything else back there? I'll be fucking covering it up with a lot of tape, that's for sure. Was there anything else back there? Honestly, I have no clue. I really don't know, sir. I certainly don't feel like I've won. I feel like shit, sir. All the time. Clearly, I haven't. We're having this conversation, aren't we? How well could it have gone? How well could it have turned out for me? I'm stuck in Martinez just like all of us. I've been up here for, I don't know how long now. I like to call this my rooftop containment facility. For my sins, of course. The long-standing sins of a bad, frivolous person. For destroying my first love. For working for bad people. The list goes on and on. Did I? Why do I still feel suspicion hanging over me then? What I managed was to get him killed. I'm the love that does people in, remember? Did I? Why do I still feel suspicion hanging over me then? What I managed was to get him killed. I understand that. The what? Oh, those ones. I don't know, sir. I said I have no idea what to make of them. Honestly, I think they're just trash. Have I ever? This is the world's most lamentable cup. You mean that little thing you caught when you first came here? On the roof there? There's no reason for me to think they're somehow connected to her. I don't know, sir. I said I have no idea what to make of them. Honestly, I think they're just trash. I don't know what to say. None of this is fortuitous for me. Look, it's dark outside, the dogs are barking, and I'm still here drinking my coffee. Just like I promised. I was just thinking what a nice evening it is for taking part in a murder investigation. Have I ever? This man has an unforgettable way with words. Have I ever? Have you grown accustomed to your role as a police officer? I can see that. It suits you, like riding a coppicycle. I can see that you have, officer. You're doing just fine. After all, your path has led you back to me. Huh, I see.
I always heard you RCM guys were cool. You are. Robbed by common highwaymen. Ruby? She couldn't have left it. She's not old-fashioned like that. I don't know what that flower was doing there, honestly. Sure. Do whatever you need to do.
Hello, officer? What brings you up here again? Oh, no, of course not. As I said, it would have been too risky for me to use those documents anyway. My employer gave them to me. In truth, I should have destroyed them. Yes, that must be it. Thank you. I feel better already. Cryptid? Of course, that must be it. Thank you. I feel better already. Yes, I am. Regardless of who took the documents. They couldn't know where I put it. I'm absolutely sure I was not followed. And I've told no one but you. Now that I think about it, you mentioned seawater. I was worried I'd been too careless with the latch. The documents were probably just washed away. Thank you, but actually, now that I think about it, you mentioned seawater. I was worried I'd been too careless with the latch mechanism. The documents were probably just washed away. It was probably just an accident. I was worried I'd been too careless with the latch. The documents were probably just washed away. You mentioned seawater? I was worried I'd been too careless with the latch. The documents were probably just washed away. Go ahead. Lies. I wouldn't know, officer. She had a crush pad somewhere on the coast, but she was very secretive about it, even with me. Yes, Ruby has her gruff charm. I really don't know what to tell you.
Ruby's certainly passionate, but sentimental? No, not really. Except maybe about radios. All kinds of radio technology. So sorry I can't be of any more help to you. Ruby has a gruff charm that inspires loyalty. I do wish you luck in your search, officer. Good luck, officer. Best of luck to you, officers. That doesn't surprise me. She's careful. But before you ask, I really have no clue where she could have gone. Anyway, I thought it would be funny to say I didn't do it because I knew about your investigation. Does that make me a suspect? I really must stop saying stupid things. It's mostly about the lack of cleaning services and an abundance of me. Thank you. I've put a lot of time and effort into it. Better safe than sorry. Oh, yes. One of my favorites. It cures many ailments. Like a common highwayman. This will come up again during what will be an opportune moment for me, Officer Disco. Took it like a common highwayman. Don't think this won't come up again during what will be an opportune moment for me, Officer Disco. What did you say? Wow. A hardened, callous highwayman. Don't think this won't come up again during what will be an opportune moment for me, Officer Disco. Oh my God. Now it's turning into narcomania. It's got to be serious if it's 2 words. Like not being able to stay up for 36 hours, not being happy. It cures those ailments. It's just a merit speed molecule, basically. No. You said narcomania. What kind of word is that? I.e., narcomaniacs. Comes in handy when you've done too many opioids. I'm sorry. Very funky. There it is again. Man of words. I can appreciate that, having half a bachelor's degree in words and all. There it is again. Man of words. I can appreciate that. With money, sir. It's not exactly the NT-star size caboodle I intend for it to be one day, but it's getting there. There it is again. Man of words. I can appreciate that. Sure. On to where? Huh? Motherfucker took my Preptide? Looks like you owe me one, officer. I'm talking serious corruption here. Sure. We partied. Cool. I don't want to talk about shit either. What shall we talk about instead? Yes. We made balloon animals, drank lemonade, inflated a bouncy castle.
Yeah, I love that too. We frosted the glasses, I unwrapped my bike, there was a petting zoo with little white rabbits.
With all due respect, sir, I think we partied a little harder than that. I would like it to have been that way, but it wasn't. It's not, sir. We drank alcohol, a lot of it. We had that effect on each other, made each other drink harder. We drank, sir, a lot. For weeks, basically. We had that effect on each other. We made each other drink harder. That's why I liked him. Stimulants. Speed also has that effect, making you drink harder.
And then drinking harder makes you do more speed. It's quite the combination. We also had sex. Please, you're alive in 50. I've known people who party so hard they're dead at 14. What no one does on your level is hitting the repeat button. I'll give you that. And maybe room trashing. Oh, it is. You're still alive. I guess you can say that, yes, a bit. Lovers is such an emotional word. But there was something there. We did enough drugs for there to be. Untraditionally, officer. A little. The drugs were good enough, and we did enough of them.
By sexually assaulted, you mean raped?
Downstairs, at the bar. He was on some sort of assignment, a military man, as you probably know. Had a cool, scary scar. A month ago? Something like that. I'm sorry, I can't do it. Not right now. Later, maybe. I keep seeing him, like he is now. I can't talk about his, I don't know, hair. Yes, I made it. And I would appreciate it if you didn't tell everyone. In Martinez, they call it snitching. I made the call, and I would appreciate it if you didn't tell everyone. In Martinez, they call it snitching, because I couldn't handle it anymore. None of these people called. He just kept hanging there. Then they started stripping him. I didn't exactly disguise it. I just muffled the mic and nicked the landline a little. Did I? Fuck. I didn't mean to. I had no idea what I was doing. With nail clippers. And I diverted some radio fuzz into it. Into the cold wire. Thanks. I don't know, sir. It was stupid. I was drunk, too. I was probably afraid the union was listening in. Locals say they have ears in the wires. I didn't want to, sir. But if I hadn't, he'd still be hanging there. I didn't want to, sir. But if I hadn't, he'd still be hanging there. I didn't want to, sir. And he's still hanging there.
Is it?
The one downstairs, officer. I used the whirling landline.
It is afternoon.
Time flies, man.
It is evening. Time flies, man.
You have? Not like I do, I imagine.
It is. It's murderously early. I'm amazed I'm awake. Why am I even awake?
You don't want to know. Yes. And then he's dead. His mouth agape. I can see the similarity. Yes.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with not raped. I don't want to say that shit about him.
Funny how?
He had something to do with the strike.
One has been roiling since I got here. Rotten timing. But you probably know all about it. I think he was in a security detail. He was ex-military, worked for Wild Pines, and against the union. We didn't discuss work much, if you know what I mean. But I understood it was dangerous. I think he was in a security detail. He was ex-military, worked for Wild Pines, against the union. We didn't discuss work much, if you know what I mean, but I understood it was dangerous. Bullet? They shot him too?
It's a bit early in the morning for raped.
They stripped his clothes and they shot him? I'm confused, sorry. Things are starting to go a little over my head here. I thought he was hanged. I was not present when they did it. I don't know what happened. I just know what they told me. And Sylvie, the bartender. They're frequent guests. Downstairs, they have a booth for union members. They're probably down there now. Over drinks. It's been a long, boring winter. A little, yeah. No, not as hard. I have. Which ones, sir? I don't remember precisely. Titus, obviously. But as I said, it's been a long winter. Like I said, we met over drinks. I hope not. Actually, I know that's not the reason. I'm careful about that kind of thing. Not crossing the wires, you know? But that's probably where they got the rape idea. Men like that? I don't know. It's the way their imaginations work.
I suspect it's what they'd like to do to me. Tell them it's not my style. They'll have to, if they want to jazz up the charges, they'll have to get someone more, rapeable. I'm confused, sorry. How about we, change the subject to something more lighthearted now? Not my favorite topic, but okay. Yes, you're just one room away. Very personal. There was the usual ruckus. Loud disco music. Yes, it was very cool. I went out afterwards. Everything was quiet by then, around 4 or 5, and that was it. I can't say. Probably not. Sounded like you were flying solo. Then you started screaming and trashed the place. Oh, yes. Various artists. Ostentatious orchestrations prime among them. There was. I think you screamed that you didn't want to be this type of animal anymore. I may have misheard, but it was sort of memorable. I don't know about that. At around 2 o'clock, the disco stopped and there was a change of pace. Were huge where I come from. I was very young then, of course, like 7. Life gets hard, but we go on. Okay, I think you might have come to the same conclusion last night. At around 2 o'clock, the disco stopped and there was a change of pace. A slow, sad song started playing, like organ music on repeat. That went on for quite a while. Some of that time you were yelling along to it. It would appear so. At around 2 o'clock, the disco stopped and there was a change of pace. Yes, there was a church in there. A really small church. Like the smallest, saddest church in the whole world. It was about that. And also, don't be. I was going out later anyway. It didn't bother me. No, it didn't sound like there was a fight. It sounded like someone was trashing their room. That it doesn't matter anymore and that we're alone now. It was difficult to tell. The song itself was very quiet and soft, but you sounded like a wounded boar, sir. It was hard to understand what you were singing on top of it. Yes. Never. A window was smashed. The tape player, probably. The song stopped. And furniture, too. A real destructathon. There was screaming. Then I think you passed out. Funky. I was. It was the night before I saw you in the hallway and reminded you you're a police officer. Wow. That's some creation myth stuff right there. Wow. Elysium. You don't hear that term often. Wow. Mythopoetically adequate stuff. Oh. Yes. My pleasure. Where did we leave off? Hell, let's just take it from the top. You start. No problem, sir. Cowering. I was cowering downstairs with Sylvie. Not explicitly, but I understood what they meant. It wouldn't hurt to spice things up a bit. Some assault and battery. Sexual assault, maybe. It was clear the latter would be spicier. Pretty much. I'm 89% sure. You know how it is. God, no. Something difficult? I've been through at least half a dozen difficult things. Which one do you mean? Okay. What should we talk about now? A lot of partying going on. Oh, yes. I've had a great view. From the roof, out of the bathroom window, in my dreams. Oh, yes. I have multiple viewpoints. From the roof, out of the bathroom window, in my dreams. Maybe you don't. Oh, yes. Yes. The night before I saw you in the hallway and reminded you you're a police officer. It's a bit early in the morning for raped, isn't it? Let me make this 100% clear then, officer. I was not sexually assaulted. Would I be as flippant if I had been? No problem, sir. About a month? Something like that. In conclusion, officer, I'm gonna go with a mild to medium not raped here. Have I slept with any of them? Yes. Sure you do, you disco animal. Sure you do, Apocalypse Cop. I hope I've been, helpful, all things considered. Sure you do, Detective. Apologies. That didn't come out very well. I meant someone who would go along with the lie. Not explicitly, but I understood what they meant. It wouldn't hurt to spice things up a bit. Some assault and battery, sexual assault maybe. It was clear the latter would be spicier. Maybe you don't know. I'm sure there is one person in the world who does. I mean, there are so many people. But let me make this clear. The man who was hanged from that tree did not rape me. I'm sure there is one person in the world who does. I mean, there are so many people. But let me make this clear. The man in that tree did not rape me. Serious. Let me make this 100% clear then, officer. I was not sexually assaulted. Would I be this flippant if I had been? Let me make this 100% clear then, officers. I was not sexually assaulted. Would I be this flippant if I had been? He was like the Seminole conflict, the Khohoi massacre, and the 36 famine in Yezud all rolled into one person, then cast in Oranje ceramic armor, which he wore in bed and in the shower. Had I the physical robustness and social support, I'd be in Khohoi. I would be tearing it up Soldier of the Apocalypse style. No, I'm pretty sure he did all those things, and then had to internalize them to keep on living, until they just sort of turn into his, what's the word I'm looking for? Actually, officer, I didn't know his name. I just called him Lely. Actually, officer, I didn't know his name. I just called him Lely. May I suggest the stereo system in your partner's room? If it can handle the songs of the coming apocalypse, I'm sure it can handle this too. I guess. He came from Lelystad. It's short for that. And it was his army name, apparently. He said his real name wasn't his. I tried to pry it out of him, but it was no use. May I suggest the stereo system in your partner's room? It produces a raw, wall-piercing sound. In Oranje, officer. It's, I think municipality is the term. A nowhere town there. May I suggest the stereo system in your partner's room? It produces stratospheric, bedazzling sound. All night long. May I suggest the stereo system in your partner's room? I'm sure it plays more than Oh and the Sad Small Church Band. Yes, we were compatriots. May I suggest the stereo system in your partner's room? I'm sure it plays more than Oh and the Sad Small Church Band. No, he was too old for that. And from another part of Oranje. I didn't even understand his accent. What brought us together wasn't Oranje. It was bad habits. Mine, unfortunately, only comes with a mimsy little radio. No, he left the National Service after they taught him to do what he did on Seminine. He wasn't the flag-waving kind. He was the making money, killing people kind. He was by no means a stupid man. A people person, a small platoon leader, certainly not a patriot. There is nothing on Moindi. The old world is dead, and we both knew it. Maybe Oranje did bring us together, in loathing. I love Revachol, though. I hope she loves me, too. May I suggest the stereo system in your partner's room? I'm sure it plays more than Oh and the Sad Small Church Band. Had he passed that test, we wouldn't have gotten along. Come to think of it, maybe it was our hateful Oranje that brought us together. No, there's nothing on Moindi. The old world is dead, and we both knew it. Come to think of it, maybe Oranje did bring us together, in loathing. May I suggest the stereo system in your partner's room? It's, unapologetic when it comes to volume. He was 42. He had many scars that made him appear older. But no, we even celebrated his birthday like some weeks ago. It was a funny 2 days. He had little reason to lie to me. Mine, unfortunately, only comes with a mimsy little radio. May I suggest the stereo system in your room? It goes up to Apocalypse. Yes. Light blue. They were like little blue galaxies. It was strange, seeing those eyes in his fucked up face. Blue. Light blue. They were like little blue galaxies, you know? It was strange, seeing those eyes in his fucked up face. Pardon the swearing. I do him an injustice. He wasn't ugly. And he had a beautiful, soft voice. Very surprising, what with all the scarring. It was quite something, watching him speak, yes. Severe. It made him look like half his face was cracking away in some strange smile. That and those eyes. May I suggest the stereo system in your room? It produces a raw, wall-piercing sound. Of course. He was the most strangely beautiful man I've ever been with. And I mean that. And now he's... Yeah. May I suggest the stereo system in your room? It produces a stratospheric, bedazzling sound. Yeah. I'll get over it, once I don't have to look at him anymore.
She tries to light another cigarette. It's windy, but she gets it done.
And now, he's dead. A pity. May I suggest the stereo system in your room? I'm sure it plays more than Oh and the Sad Small Church Band. It was light brown, almost blonde. He darkened it with brilliantine, made it oily. Not nice to stroke. I couldn't convince him to leave it alone. May I suggest the stereo system in your room? I'm sure it plays more than Oh and the Sad Small Church Band. May I suggest the stereo system in your room? I'm sure it plays more than Oh and the Sad Small Church Band. Oily, isn't it? We have that in common now. May I suggest the stereo system in your room? It's, uncharacteristically unapologetic when it comes to volume. Oh, that. It was a map of his life and the places he visited as a soldier. It was mostly for showing off to chicks, though. Sure, service history. It was mostly for showing off to chicks, though. How? Imagine him lying in bed, freakish musculature laid out on the sheets. Scarred, of course. Tattooed. The sheets are dirty for some reason. Yes, this is the very essence of Oranje's lit. A moment's respite, dark and hopeless as the struggle itself. Oh yeah, and the woman goes like, "What was this, baby?" No, thank you. I've seen enough of him dead. I can tell you what they meant without looking at them. And he says, "That was too hardcore. Don't ask me about that." So she goes, "Okay, but what's this, baby?" And he's like, "Saw some bat shit there. Killed some loincloths." And so it goes. Star after star, port after port, third world country after third world country. And he's done horrible things in every single one of them. He's smoking and drinking, of course. And his chest and shoulders and arms are studded with stars. Tens, hundreds of them. Maybe even thousands. He was a blue-eyed boy with thick arms, from a small town. He was also poor, and the government of Oranje needed some people killed, so they turned him into a grotesque killer. For money. He went to Killer Academy in Vredefort. Then he killed some people on the Semenine Islands, and on other islands too. All of the islands. After this, he came to Revachol and got killed himself. It is when you're high. It can be very exciting then. You have the tools to deal with it. It's not a very nice story to remember when you're sober. A change of topic? Change of topic, perhaps? What does that recording say? It didn't love him. Quite a lot, yes. Sure. Waterways. It was mostly for showing off to chicks, though. Why do you ask? A real rainbow splattering of pharmaceuticals, I bet. Barbiturates, amphetamine, sildenafil. How much does the toxicology report cost the police of Revachol? I can do it for half of that. Save you some money, make some myself. Cool. Where did they get this recording exactly? It very well could be, yes. What do I mean? I have no idea. I don't even know what you mean. Love did him in? What does that mean? I don't think he enjoyed dying, officer. He had too much left to do. Too many third world conflicts. Couldn't tap out just yet. Well, it's wrong. He had too many drinks to down and too many bad things to do. Couldn't tap out just yet. Occult vision? Of course. I do not for one moment think it wasn't an occult vision. I do not doubt the signs, but maybe you're interpreting them wrong? He enjoyed life, you see. A little too much, if anything. Up to the point where other people had to pay for it. Wow. A superstar and a mystic. How intriguing. I have no doubt this is all adequate and true. I do not doubt the signs, but maybe. They're not hardcore in that way, is what I'm trying to say. What are we talking about anyway? This politics shit is a lot in the morning. Is it even morning? Good for you. I don't know how a semen sample works, officers. How many days after intercourse does it have to be? I don't even know if he had sex with someone else. We didn't go steady. That's not funny, officer. Of course I do. I'm hungover. I feel guilty about everything. Among many other things, yes. I could have done something. There's always something you can do, right? Ask me something else. Does he say he's gonna do it Soldier of the Apocalypse style? Another broken thing in a line of broken things. Well, perhaps you'll find one somewhere. Another broken thing in a line of broken things. Well, perhaps you'll find one elsewhere. Something happened to it? Another broken thing in a line of broken things. Quite a shame. Well, perhaps you'll find another one. Something happened to it? Another broken thing in a line of broken things. Quite a shame. Well, perhaps you'll find another one. As I already told your partner, I didn't actually know his name. I just called him Lely. It's short for Lelystad, where he came from. Yes, he said his real name wasn't his. I tried to pry it out of him, but he never gave it up. No matter how hard I tried. He wasn't actually there. He didn't do a tour, or at least didn't tell me he did. Would have been overkill anyway. He lived his own little cohoy. It wasn't his everything. Oh no, I'm pretty sure he did all those things, then integrated them into his idea of normalcy, to keep on living, until they just sort of turn into his, what's the word I'm looking for? Wow, a mystic. How intriguing. I have no doubt this is all adequate and true. I do not doubt the signs, but maybe... Did he? I never said he was a good man, or that he had good intentions. Only that he was never bad to me. Yeah, that was practically his pickup line. Well, maybe I pieced him back together with my magical personality. Running joke. I was gonna say running joke. And it sounds like you didn't even get the good bits. Lely's punchlines got way, way funkier than that. Yeah, extremely dead. A moment ago it was love. And no, I don't think the Union is communist. They're a couple of shades pinker than that. Is the Union communist? They're a couple of shades pinker than that, no? Social Democrats?
Wah, 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 wah.
You haven't listened to it? You sure you don't want to hear it before questioning me? Of course, officer. I'll cooperate. I'm guessing he tried to give you the door gun or megamix? Yeah? Of course, officer. No time to lose. I'm guessing he tried to give you the door gun or megamix, yeah? Sure. You can trust me. I'm guessing he tried to give you the door gun or megamix, yeah? They've got him saying he'd like to rape and kill. Do Revachol Soldier of the Apocalypse style. It really upset the boys. I never said he was a good man. Only that he was in bed to me. That's about it, I think. It's not a very long tape. Afraid of what? That tape the Hardy Boys recorded? Your mother probably never told you this, but girls are evil. Why would I be scared? Your mother probably never told you this, but girls are evil. We're all scraping up any happiness we can find, officer. Going around with our little scouring sticks. You, your first love, Mr. Soldier of the Apocalypse here. No. We were too busy laying waste to our own nervous systems to direct any of the fury outward. He seemed happy, I guess. At ease. As much as a man like him could be. Had I the physical robustness and social support, I would be tearing it up Soldier of the Apocalypse style. Anytime, officer. I'm quite sure he didn't, officer. The tape? I think he said whore a lot. He said this wasn't Revachol. He said it was a fucking village with village elephants and that he was gonna do us all Kohai style. Running joke. I was gonna say running joke. And that tape didn't even get the good bits. Lely's punchlines got way, way funkier. People who go to the university know how to use words like internalize and integrate, officer. Now, what was that expression? We're all scraping up any happiness we can find, officer. Going around with our little scouring sticks. You, your first love, Mr. Kohoi here. He liked the way it sounded when he said it. As for Kohoi, he wasn't actually there. Not from what he told me, at least. But he might as well have been. I could see he'd lived his own little Kohoi. It wasn't his everything. Oh no. I'm pretty sure he did terrible things. Then integrated them into his idea of normalcy. To keep on living. Until he just sort of turned into his... What's the word I'm looking for? He was like the Seminese conflict, the Kohoi massacre, and the 36 famine in Yezut all rolled into one person, then encased in Oranye's ceramic armor, which he wore in bed and in the shower. No, I'm pretty sure he did terrible things, and then had to internalize them to keep on living, until they just sort of turned into his, what's the word I'm looking for? It suits you, officer. You should say it more. As for Kohoi, it's not a problem. As for Kohoi, no. We were too busy laying waste to our own nervous systems to direct any of the fury outward. He seemed happy, I guess. At ease. As much as a man like him could be. Anything else, officer? Sure, I can try. What do you need? Oh, I'm guessing your partner should be here too. He went to Killer Academy in Vredefort. Then he killed some people in the Seminine Islands. And on other islands too. All of the islands. After this, he came to Revachol and got killed himself. Yes, good for you. Sounds oddly feminine. Not really. I just think Lely's good enough. But go ahead. You look like you want to tell me. Not really. Lely's good enough for me. Thank you. How? Imagine him lying in bed, freakish musculature laid out on the sheets. Scarred, of course. tattooed. The sheets are dirty for some reason. He's smoking and drinking, of course. And his chest and shoulders and arms are studded with stars. Tens, hundreds of them, maybe even thousands. And he says, "That was too hardcore. Don't ask me about that." So she goes, "Okay, but what's this, baby?" And he's like, "Saw some bad shit there. Killed some loincloths." Oh yeah, then you didn't get the greatest hits, officers. It's probably for the best. Then you didn't get the greatest hits, officer. It's probably for the best. Hang on. And the woman goes like, "What was this, baby?" And so it goes. Star after star, port after port, third world country after third world country. And he's done horrible things in every single one of them. Yes, this is the very essence of Oranje's. A moment's respite, dark and hopeless as the struggle itself. It sounds like the boys would have preferred my saying it did happen. I didn't want to get caught up in this. True. It did not love him. Did he say whores a lot? Was he pretty much on the verge of doing it Kohoi style? It's not a problem. As for Kohoi, officers, he liked the way it sounded when he said it. As to Kohoi, it suits you, officer. You should say it more. As to Kohoi, people who go to university know how to use words like internalize and integrate, officer. Now, what was that expression? How old do I think you are? I don't know. 21? 17? 16? When does the male libido peak? I don't know. 1 million years old? 21? 17? How old are superstar police officers usually? I don't know. 80? 100? 1 year old? I don't know what I'm supposed to say. How old is the sorriest age? I don't know. 1? 2? I don't know what I'm supposed to say. How old is a newborn cop who doesn't remember he's a cop? I don't know. 41? 45? What am I supposed to say? What's the most boring age a human being can be? I don't know. As old as time itself? Ageless? 50,000 years old? I don't know what I'm supposed to say. How old is an apocalypse cop? I don't know. 40? I was like 9 when OO peaked. That was what, 19 years ago? I liked them when I was 9. You couldn't have liked it when you were 40. Let's say you were 20-something, 25. A good disco age. 25 plus 19 is 44. I'm gonna say you're 44. Yeah, I have a university degree, you know? Absolutely. Age is just a number, man. Look, at the end of the day, age is just a number, you know? Sure he is. You know, age is just a number. Sure. Age is just a number, you know? It's all in your head. Sure he is. You know, age is just a number. Sure, yeah. And if you're not, age is just a number anyway. Sure he is. You know, age is just a number. That's pretty much it, but age is just a number anyway, you know? Yeah. I'd like to think he didn't love me, or that it was chemically induced and not real. Easier that way. I don't know. That's wonderful to hear. That's an odd thing to say to yourself, officer.